Okay, we cut the all the pieces that we need before we start welding. We cut the ends because we want the loader arm to fit a side of that mechanism, so we have to make it a little bit narrower, and we're going to weld them so that outside we still have 44 inches. We're going to reuse those pieces to add them on the opposite side, this way and this way. But before we do that, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we have straight edge to make the first assembly. So we are going to have everything being welded straight.
Okay, this is a detailed explanation on how Dave and I did the skid steer quick attach for the case. So this is the pieces I bought on Amazon. There's a left and right, obviously. This should have 44 inches in between. So as you can see, this is two single pieces that you have to weld on whatever you need to match your loader arms. On my case, what I did is that the red lines are plates, 1/4 of an inch plates, 3 inch wide. They're welded on their side, and the spacing in between is just a little bit more than 3 inches to accommodate the loader arms on the of the case. So I did that on both pieces, and after that, the problem is that my loader arms are having 35 inches in between. So roughly each arms are getting in the way of the pin. So some design will overcome that because they have no choice. So the drawdown of having the loader arm fixed in front of this is that you get more distance in between the loader arms and the implement, and reducing the capacity of the loader. So I decided to match those pieces along with the loader arms where I could weld the plates. But the problem is that I no longer have 44 inches, which is really essential on that system. But I come back later on what is the solution for that. So you have to keep in mind, this is the rough dimension of the plate that will be welded on the implement. And as you can see, this is the slots that will match the pins. There's 4 inches wide slots on each side, so there's some play. So the pin doesn't need to match an exact spot, but there's some kind of play. So this is a representation from a Titan attachment plate, which represent the slots on each side matching the pins. So it might not be perfectly up to scale, but it roughly show you the point there. So what I decided to do is to cut those small parts here and there, and this one. So this part I cut it and welded on the right side, and same for the left, which comes there. So this way I still have 44 inches in between. From there, the next point is I have to make some link in between. So if you have two curved cylinder like a regular tractor, then your curved cylinder match there and there, and you only need one link in between the left and the right, so you make sure that those sides are kept together. On my case, this is one cylinder that goes in the middle, so I had to have a second link in between. So the two links are 2 by 2 1/4 inch thick square tubes, which are quite strong, on which I added again some 1/4 inch plates. I think they were 4 inches wide to link the curve cylinder. Then I drill holes on each side. Actually, I did that before I weld the plates, but there were holes, bushings to fit the pins for the 2 loader arms, and same for the curve cylinder. So I took time and measurement so that the distance in between the pin of the curve cylinder and the loader arms are such that I get the full reach or the full movement of the implement I have in the front. So that's pretty much it. Let's see how we build it.
So next thing is to put sides here. Spacing in between will be at least 3 inches to afford to have the loader arm to fit inside of that. It will be those 1/4 inch plates that I have to cut to fit. Okay. Good. Okay, the block is to simulate the 3 inch I need for the loader arm. And by the way, the loader arm is not 3 inches, it's 2 inches, but at the one side and there's a 1 inch plate, reinforcing plate on each side. So that was one side at 2 inches and the other at 3 inches, so I have to make it quite similar from both sides. So I'll have to cut down those excess material, but I do that later. Same at the bottom. Seems good. Okay, this is pretty much a good representation of the loader arm with the hole. So I need to have 2 inches, and those arms are quite rounded, so 2 inches from the center of the pin. So I need to have at least 2 inches this direction, 2.5, let's say so. Okay. Then I will need some reinforcing bushings. So I go on the table from now. I need a little bit of room to put that small pieces of bushing there. So not closer than that with the outside bushing. This bushing is 1.5 inches. So 3/4 inch will be the center. So 1.1 deep. So I'm left with not too much material, but with the bushing should be okay. Worst case is that I reinforce that part. Okay, I'll go with that. Then 2 inches from the bottom minimum. That's say 2.5 to make sure. So that should be the position of the 1-inch hole. Do you think it will fit?
For sure.
Sure, sure. Ready? Seems good?
Yeah.
Seems good so far. This will be the pivot point with the loader arm going there. There will be another plate going here. And we need now to have some kind of bracket we need to have another bracket going about at this height, 7.25 of an inch there for the curved cylinder. And this needs to be clear from this point and this point below. Okay, off camera we prepare those brackets that will hold the center pin for the curved cylinder. We've put some 2x3 with plates to make a full 3.5 inches in between. It's being centered. There's the cross member at the bottom, the top, and the center from pin to the side pins should be 7 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to tack weld this and we're going to go and confirm on the tractor if it fits.